All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm JustMoparJoe, and I've been owing you all an update on my Barracuda. So, here it is. Since my last outing, which I got a lot of interest in that video because it was the actual first one with the 512 and the actual drag slicks instead of the drag radials. I got a lot of interest in that, and video did pretty well. The car did great, and I ended up getting first place in that. So everything was good. The last issue, or it wasn't really an issue, but a little bit of hiccup. One, I lost my rubber grommet there, so I had to plug it off with anything I could find, so I got to replace that. My friend Michael Yielding, which if you haven't seen his YouTube channel, go check it out. He's trying to get 500 subscribers to go to the No Name Nationals so he can lay down a high 4-second pass with his dart swinger. So I'll put a link somewhere. Anyway, he's got all the carburetor jets, and I call them our carburetor jets, although they're really his. I had them forever and a day, and he needed to borrow them back. So I need to jet this thing up a little bit more. My AFR was a little bit lean, so I think it will pick up some time when I go back out. The other issue was my torque converter, which I have put in this top line converter box, was too tight. I wanted to try it with my spare transmission, and I've got my new top line converter setting right in there, and my freshly built big block 727 that Drew built for me with all the Cope racing internal stuff. So I'm going to call it bulletproof right now, and in a few months y'all will laugh at me and say you should have never said that. But just a couple things. I know it's got the bolt-in rear sprag. It's got a low band apply reverse manual valve body Cope, and the billet front drum. So several other things. I just know those are the most important to keep it from exploding. You can see my transmission blanket hanging down there, hopefully. So it'll get wrapped up later. But I went ahead and installed it now. It's a lot easier to install when the transmission's out. And I had a guy ask me about my TTI headers, and it is a major pain in the anus to get that transmission stuck in there. So it has to actually go up and twist to get between the tubes, and this side is currently unbolted. So I'll fight with that here in a little while to finish bolting it back up so I can try to get to the racetrack this Sunday. But let me give you that information real quick. There is their information. It is top line converter. You can find them on the internet or call them directly. And Mike Iben is the man there. He's fixed me up several times. So my first year No Name Nationals win, I had that converter in.
And that's going to be a good win light goes to JustMoparJoe, 724 on a 720.
Second year No Name Nationals, I actually, when I grenaded my transmission
At the finish line.
I don't normally get to be a pit reporter, but watching Joe thrash down here.
I don't think that's supposed to do that. That would probably cause some issues, wouldn't it? I had to send the converter back to get a rebuild, so this may say racer refresh on it. They can do that to any brand of converter if you've got one laying around. Like I got an old B&M over here. I need to send in and get it rebuilt because it's got a million passes on it, and you can see it's even gotten hot before and cooked the paint off. They could fix you up. But I got a miniature scale version of my car in, and I wanted to show you that. So Vic at Functional Histories, he's also written me a letter here. I'm not going to show you that, but I get to race Jamie at Dead Dodge Garage with my miniature at some point. So let's get the car out and check it out. And there you go. The Barracuda. And you'll notice our River Rat Racing Team insignia there. So that's cool that he got that on. try to get her painted on the car. I do have Hoosier Slicks now, and he wrote Hoosier Slicks on there, so that's pretty cool. Got my yellow headlights even. It's all pretty, it looks all pretty authentic, like it took some time to study the car and made it look pretty close. So good job, Vic. I got a little lean on a tire there, but that might have happened in shipping or something. But the other cool part, it kind of gives you a breakdown of the whatever history of the car or information about the car. And my Barracuda facts, this is a 68 model. I would kind of explain some of this. Someone shaved off the round corner markers. It's got new quarters in the back, but if you follow along, there's a piece of metal somewhere in here that somebody welded up. Or maybe it's on the other side, I don't know. The previous owner was an expert Hemi engine builder, and he never lived to get a Hemi into the car, so I'll probably keep living on as the wedge man. I started the car, I had a 408 small block, went to my big block, low deck 406, and now we got the 512 in. And the Barracuda, as named by Ed's Machine, that was somewhere around the time of the No Name Nationals. That's all real cool. Thanks to Vic. I was glad to buy that from him. And I've got my own replica of my car here. Other things to do to this thing before it goes back out. I'm gonna get my jets going. New transmission, new converter in. It should launch a little bit harder and maybe give me a little bit better 60 foot. One of my best slips from last time, 638 with a 140 60 foot. I'd like to get down into the 130s if I can, but you never know. I mean, the car feels plenty fast enough, and it was fairly consistent. I was able to dial, still keep 408 on here. I was able to dial a 640 and 643 depending on the lane. The car will always win more races than the driver, I promise you. It's usually how it is in my case. But anyway, that was just a quick update, and check out Functional Histories if you want to learn more about the Stone Soup project. I believe it's a Lancer. It's up at Jamie's at Dead Dodge Garages now, and it's going to make a trip all across the U.S. So if you want to follow along with the trip, type in Stone Soup on YouTube, and there'll be more information there. Also, if I can get this transmission in, we got to go for a test drive to be sure we have first, second, and third gear. It's not that I don't trust Drew's transmission ability, but I'd like to know before I haul the car to the racetrack. Full of fluid. We'll see if she ships.
far, people.